Good morning, everyone. Lesley Myrick here, interior designer and business coach with Nancy Quinn and Profit Insiders Coaching. You've got me solo today. Nancy is not around, but I have a really juicy topic. And yes, I know it's not really a juicy topic. No one wants to talk about contracts, but we're going to talk about contracts today. And I want you to listen up because you know that if you don't have a good contract that protects you as an interior designer, you're in trouble. You need this document. You should already know this, but I'm going to say it just in case. A contract is not a big, scary thing. It is not meant to confuse people or have all this legal jargon. A contract is there to tell your client, here is what I will do for you. And so that your client knows what they are expected to do in return, what the expectations are on both sides. That is all a contract is. So Shelby submitted a great question because contracts can be very difficult. They are obviously very technical. There are legal requirements for contracts. So Shelby asked, where do you put the project scope and timeline in your contract? I've missed details before because there are so many spots that need to be edited each time. I've made mistakes and have had to edit my contracts after the client signs, which makes me look really bad. Shelby, I feel you. I've been there. I've made mistakes. It's so easy when you are looking at a document that is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages. There's little spots here and there that need editing. There's a lot of room for error. So I have a few tips to help with your contract woes. The first one, use our contracts. We have an amazing contracts bundle available. You can buy individual contracts for different services, or there are great savings if you buy the whole bundle. And we have designed these contracts to really only need to be edited in 2 places. At the very beginning is where you're going to put your client info, name, address, that kind of thing. And at the very end is where you have your scope, your timeline, your pricing, all those details. That's it. The whole middle of the contract, the bulk of it stays the same. And, when you get to the pricing one, it just directs you down to the schedule at the end. So we call them schedules, but the project scope, the timeline, these schedules are at the end of the contract. They're the only pages that need to be edited. They're very clear. They're very simple. And we designed this very strategically because, like I said, I had the same struggles. I was finding that there were little spots here and there, and sometimes I would miss them. My rate would be wrong. A client's name would be a holdover from a past project. So simplified contracts, ours only need editing at the very beginning and the very end. That's the contract stuff. But I want to talk about something else first. Before you even go to the contract phase, we teach in the Profit Insiders Academy that you should be presenting your proposal first to get the numbers out of the way, to have those conversations, to get clarity before you go to the contract phase. Why? First of all, contracts are kind of scary and overwhelming and not the best way to present large design fees. Number 2, if you start with a contract, client makes a change, the scope changes, the scope expands, and you're editing that contract, that is where mistakes happen. When you are going back and forth through this document, making changes, there's a lot of margin for error. So do a beautiful proposal first, show the clients how the project's going to be, what the investment is, what the estimated furnishings and decor spend is. Once you have their buy-in, the contract is just the formality where you have everything listed out and they sign. That's it. So what I want to offer you today, if you are struggling with contracts because they suck and they're scary and they're very expensive if you hire your own attorney to do them, we have an incredible contract templates bundle. And at checkout, you're going to get an offer to save $100 off the key. The key is our pricing tool, the designer's ultimate pricing tool. And it comes with proposal template. So everything I just talked about, presenting a beautiful proposal, getting clear on your numbers, this package is going to sum up all of that. Pricing, how to present your pricing, your contracts, getting that signature, and making sure that everything is buttoned up before you start your project. So, Shelby, thank you for your question. I appreciate you having the courage to write a question about contracts, because I think we tend to be scared of them. We tend to kind of avoid them, and they're a necessary evil. And maybe we have a contract from like 10 years ago that we're still using. We haven't really checked to make sure it's current with laws and regulations or how our design process works. So please don't struggle with contracts. This is such an affordable way to get everything you need. If you're struggling with pricing, add on the key bundle. This is a complete proposal, contract, pricing package that's really going to set your business up for success. So thank you all for being here and listening to a talk about contracts today. If you have a question that you would like Nancy and I to answer on a future episode, please, if you're not already a member, join the free Interior Design Business Forum Facebook group. There is almost 10,000 designers in there, and it's an incredible community, a great place to ask questions like this. And at the top of that group, you will see a pinned post where you can submit questions for our weekly lives. We will change your name. We will not give away identifying details. This is a safe space for designers to learn and ask questions and grow and figure out how to change and improve what's not working. So thank you so much for being here today. We will see you back here next Thursday for another Profitable Interior Designer. Bye, everyone.